all, let me congratulate and thank Indian Education Network and the one-man strong army of Indian Education Network, Mr. Manish Chabra, for taking this initiative. It is not a one-time exercise what he is doing. It is ninth annual Skill Development Summit. Continuously 9 years, this organization is talking about skill development when many of us were not even thinking of that. The nation was not talking much about that. So, all my compliments and congratulations, Manish, to you and your team for a wonderful job you are doing. It was indeed a pleasure to listen to wonderful speakers in the morning. Madam Vandana Bhatnagar from NSDC, Dr. Gayatri Vasudevan, Dr. Sandeep Panchpande, my colleague, otherwise also in other organizations, and Mr. Dinesh Sood. Everybody spoke about the possibility, need, availability, and challenges. The best thing what I found, what Mr. Dinesh Sood said, बात निकलेगी तो दूर तलक जाएगी. Exactly, this is what is required. We have to talk about skill, need of the skills. We have to discuss about it. We have to deliberate and see that everybody knows the importance of skills. Generally, what happens when Dr. Sandeep was telling that highest working population by 2027 will be we Indians. We do not know. We do not realize. We are just concerned that, oh, demographically we are so rich, oh, population control has to be there. But this challenge can become a dividend for us. If we are the largest, highest working population of the world, it means we can play a very big role in the economic environment of the world itself. But for that, coming 6 years, we all have to work day and night. And I must thank from this platform also our Honorable Prime Minister. The day I remember when this ministry was made, Skill Development Ministry, maybe I was one of the very first few who wrote to him, it is not needed. Right from the day one, I was surprised that why education and skill development are two ministries. Because skill cannot be developed without education, and education cannot be think of without skills. So this merger of two ministries again, this is a much needed step, and I congratulate Honorable Prime Minister for the same, and my compliments to the Minister of Education, Shri Pradhanji, Dharmendra Pradhanji, that he will be able to integrate what was needed to be integrated a few years back itself. Every organization is working, doing wonders, be it NSDC, be it we have a new university in Delhi now. There are many other universities, those who are specifically for skill development universities, they call themselves. There are 1,000 plus other universities, those who are doing wonderful job. There are wonderful institutions like ASM Group and many other in the country, those who are really very seriously working in this direction. All the councils and all of us are working in that area. But what has to be seen? Yesterday, we all remembered Abdul Kalam Sahab. We all remembered on our social media, on everywhere, we were talking about him. If I look at him or if we read his books, what he talked about is skill and education. And very beautifully, he talked about it. What he talked about, what Dr. Sandeep touched, life skills. He never said, go and take this degree and you will become employable or you can become an asset for your nation and you can contribute to this thing and that thing. He said, first, you should have life skills. I call it a second transcript. What second transcript? Everybody has to have. Every school has to start that. Everybody is worried, oh, this year CBSE result will come on the basis of 30, 30, 40, how it will be there, what will be the metrics, what will be the result, how admissions will be there. But nobody is talking about this second transcript in schools also. And that second transcript is a school of gumption, which I believe every school has to have in their system, even universities, institutions, they have to have. We all are talking about certain superficial skills. इसे ये सिखा दो, इसे नौकरी मिल जाएगी, ये सिखा दो, नौकरी मिल जाएगी. But we have to understand that every skill in this country or globally has a shelf life. It will expire. What skills I learned when I was 20 years old, they are not needed now. But what life skills I was given throughout my life, they are helpful otherwise also. So I will quickly start with that, and I will try to just touch upon them, what that school of gumption needs or what skills are needed. For me, they are 7 C's: curiosity, courage, compassion, collaboration, calmness, and communication. And communication, why I emphasize, communication does not mean speaking in English only. Our new education policy speaks about regional languages. Our industry, 99% of the workforce speak the regional language. Only on the top, a very like a top of the pyramid, they need to speak English, they need to speak other language because they have to interact with the world. They have to make other policies. So these 7 C's need to be there, which everybody has to have. And these 7 C's, what they will do? They will develop a fluid skill mindset. And once that mindset will be there, change will start coming. We all say that skills are needed because we have to make India self-reliant. आत्मनिर्भर पहले बनाने के लिए पहले हमें आत्मनिर्भर होना होगा. First we have to be self-reliant, then India will be self-reliant. We have to be employable, we have to see that we are entrepreneurs or whatever we are doing. If we look at what the Honorable Prime Minister, when he was talking about self-reliant India, what he said, there was 5 I's were there. Intent. I'm happy that in the country intent is there, that everybody should be self-reliant. We all know that. We all are working in that direction. Every stakeholder is working in that direction. Inclusion. Sometimes it is missing. Honestly, it is missing. We all are working at separate verticals. We have to come together. We have to develop a very inclusive ecosystem for skill development, for ensuring that what skills are required to somebody, they are available. Investment, a challenge. And for that, corporate world has to come, because we cannot rely on the government, we cannot rely on the private players only. Many other people have to come together. Maybe CSR money has to come in that. Infrastructure. Many times we cry that infrastructure is not there. I was happy when Madam Vandana was talking about that schools, universities should come. And exactly like if you listen to my video recordings, which must be available with Mr. Manish Chabra of last 4-5 years of this particular summit, every time I was talking, my concern is this: those who have infrastructure, they are not involved. Why NSDC, why skill councils are waiting for universities to come to them? We have all adequate infrastructure. There are 50,000 higher education institutions, thousands and thousands of schools. We have adequate infrastructure. Let us join hands. Let us approach, because it is not that universities or institutions are using their infrastructure 24/7. Initially, when NSDC started working with NGOs and all those things, always my concern was there. My concern was, you are giving a responsibility to somebody who has no infrastructure or expertise. And what they will do, they will sublet the responsibility to somebody else. And subletting a responsibility means subletting commitment, conviction, and performance. I'm happy that now involvement is happening and infrastructure is available which need to be used at maximum. Innovation was the fifth I what Honorable Prime Minister talked about. Dr. Sandeep touched upon it. Innovation is needed. And what innovation is needed, what is required, that is needed. Every problem needs to be identified and a local impactful solution has to be found. Then self-reliant youth will be there. Self-reliant India will be there. We have to work for that. And many efforts are happening. I'm really happy that we are doing a lot many things on that in the country. But inclusiveness, once it will come, we will have more clarity on the thoughts. Things will start changing. World Economic Forum has published a report, Future of Jobs 2020 report is there. What it says that half of the employees around the world will need reskilling by 2025. And this number does not include all the people who are currently not in employment. It means a big challenge, not only of skilling is there, but reskilling is also there. And for reskilling, many times we have to unskill ourselves. During this pandemic time, we all have seen that we do not know many things. We all, those who were thinking, I know everything in my trade, I am the master. Suddenly, this pandemic, the challenges which came to us, they told us that you do not know many things. And one of the critical problem is to ensure that we have sufficient skill to survive in the digital world. This digital world has to remain there. We all were thinking, I know I can speak, I can use, but suddenly when Zoom came a few months back, more than a year back, when other things came, we all were new to that. And every day new technology is coming, we all have to look into that. So what I found for all stakeholders, for me, the stakeholders in the country is the government, the business, and the education sector. Three stakeholders are there majorly, those who have to work in this direction. So what all stakeholders have to do, that we have to build a strong and interconnected ecosystem committed to a comprehensive upskilling agenda and give people to the opportunity to participate. We all have to work. We have to map the evolving job landscape and forecast future skill demand very frequently. It is not once in a year. It has to be done very frequently. We have to collectively determine a set of indicators that measure the quality of employment at the industry, nation, and subnational level, at state level. Because at local and regional level also we have to see that what skills we can give. What government has to do out of these stakeholders? Government has to adopt an agile approach to driving national upskilling initiatives, working with business, non-profits, and the education sector wholeheartedly. Government should not wait. Government should invite. They should not wait. Somebody will come to them and say, sir, I want to do this thing. Please help me. It is a reverse process which needs to be done. We need to prioritize funding for upskilling and skilling in national recovery plans. These recovery plans are after this COVID pandemic. We all have to work in that direction. Government has to take a lead on that. What the second stakeholder, business, has to do, anchor upskilling and workforce investment as a core business principle and make time-bound pledges to act. Generally what happens that in business what we do not invest on upskilling. We think that, okay, fine, you do not know, I will have somebody else. And this is creating a crunch. This is giving a problem. Like in Shobit University, if you ask me, we have decided that instead of hiring new faculty members with certain skills, let us do faculty development programs. Let us see that our existing ones, they develop those skills, what may be required today or tomorrow. And this has to be done everywhere. What educational institute, the third stakeholder, has to do? They have to embrace the future of work as a source of reinvention to normalize lifelong. We have to do research, we have to do innovation. And many times I say, many of you may not agree, and please don't agree if you do not feel so, that even jugaad culture has to be promoted initially. Why I am telling this country is, if we look the ecosystem and the workforce, because a jugaad is a temporary solution of a problem and innovation is a sustainable solution of a problem. But we have to develop that also. We have not to discourage people, those who are sitting in villages, small places, and finding solutions for the problems. That is also a skill which may need a scientific intervention. We can put on that, but we all have to work in that direction. And universities and institutions, they need to build bridges between national qualification network and lifelong learning, so skills are recognized globally. We have to connect schools. I'm talking to higher education institutes and place of learning with each other. And it has not to be done regionally, locally, it has to be done globally. And I again congratulate Sandeep that I have seen that in his institutions, he's doing some very wonderful takes he has taken, wonderful initiatives he has taken, which are worth mentioning and worth praising. And everybody has to do that. Today, the universities, in universities, what is the agenda? What we are doing? Universities are now playing three important roles: knowledge transfer, skill development, and we are involved in economic growth of the society. These three important tasks, what important role universities are playing, they need to be acknowledged, they need to be recognized, and then only the things can be done in a better way. This country deserves wonderful skill sets. We have wonderful skill sets. They need to be honed, they need to be further reskilled, and the world is waiting for Indians to work with them and to empower them also economically through our skill sets. I congratulate all the stakeholders, those who are working in this domain. Let us all join hands to empower our nation with wonderful, skilled workforce and education. Thank you very much.
Shobhit University, empowering nation through education.